What is going on YouTube? It's your boy the chef, and today we are going to be going over the difference between a conservative entry and an aggressive entry and the pros and cons to using this. Stay tuned. So real quick, if you look at the demonstration that I have here for you, I wanted to go over some of the pros and cons for using both a conservative and an aggressive entry strategy or tactic. So when you're looking at a conservative entry, you are essentially waiting for more confirmation than you are when it comes to being aggressive. So with the conservative entries, you most likely have a higher win rate, but unfortunately, since you're waiting so long to get into trades, you're gonna have less profits because you're gonna have to use a bigger stop loss, and you may miss out on a lot of trades because that confirmation candle might just move too far away from the area of interest that you are looking to get in a trade on. Now, when it comes to an aggressive entry, you are going to have an extremely lower win rate because you are not waiting for that confirmation candle to tell you whether or not you should get in the trade. But ultimately, your goal is to get in early in hopes that you're going to be able to capitalize a lot more. And don't worry, I'm going to show you guys examples of both conservative and aggressive entries later on in the video. With aggressive entries, you're going to be able to have a tighter stop loss because of how you're entering these trades, which ultimately means a bigger lot size, which could go into a bigger profit, but it also means that you could lose just as fast and lose that money easily, which is why I say you can easily get stopped out. So let's go ahead and head into the charts so I can show you exactly what both of these entries look like. So let's take this area of resistance right here and use this as an example, right? So we've seen price right here came up to this level. Not only did it come up, but it rejected it. So boom, okay, we know that price does not want to push above this level. So now here we are, price has came back to this level in order to retest it. Now, here is how you would enter on an aggressive entry. So as this candle is pushing up right here and you see the slight rejection on this wick, you will get in without any bearish confirmation to show you that this trade it wants to go in your way. The plus is that you can have a very tiny stop loss right above the candle, which will give you maximum risk to reward. What would have been your next target? Your target would have been down here, and then you would have took this trade all the way down here. As you can see, it completely dumped down and gave you a 15-to-1 risk to reward, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Now let's move this trade over here just so we can keep it in mind as to what happened. Now on the other side of things, let's just say you waited for that conservative entry. You could have waited until maybe you didn't get in off of this doji. There's no way you got in on a doji on a conservative entry. That still essentially would have been more of like an aggressive. So you waited for this bearish candle right here, and your stop loss now has to go all the way up here, and your take profit was still in the same area, which still was a great 3-to-1 risk to reward. But as you can see, it wasn't a 15-to-1 risk to reward, meaning if you would have risked $100 on this trade, you would have gained $1,500. Whereas on the conservative entry, if you would have risked $100 on the trade, you only would have gained $300. But you did wait for that confirmation, and it was safer for you to take that trade. So ultimately, the entry that you use is solely dependent on you as a trader, your risk tolerance, and what you are okay with losing. Go into every trade expecting to lose, okay? Be all right with losing, because once you get over that, you will honestly become a better trader. You won't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? So let's find one more example, because there's really no need for us to harp on this way too long. And as you can see, this same level was a level back here. So if we're looking at this right here, so let's say we see price came up here in the past. Let me identify this right here. Price came up here in the past, rejected it. So we know that this is a level of resistance, and it rejected aggressively. So we also know that there is supply in this area as well. And then price came back up here to this zone. So as you can see right here, as soon as price came up here to this zone and gave you this pin bar, or yeah, this is a pin bar. As soon as price gave you this pin bar, you could have got in for your sell, your short, at the very close of this candle. Stop loss could have been super tight right here, and then once again we could have took that all the way back down to our next key level, giving us another amazing 10-to-1 risk to reward. Now let's just say that same trade, let's move this trade over here. Let's just say with that same trade, you would have waited for your confirmation candle, your what is it, a morning star? I believe it's a morning star. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember the patterns. Look it up. I believe it's a morning star. But let's just say you waited for that confirmation candle right here, and then you got in. You still would have had the same stop loss right above the key level, and then you would have took it down to the key level, which still would have gave you a win. But once again, on this side you got an 11-to-1 risk to reward, 10-to-1 risk to reward, and then on this side you got a 3-to-1 risk to reward. So ultimately, that's just how it is. This is the difference between an aggressive entry and a conservative entry, and the pros and cons. Because every time you get into an aggressive entry doesn't mean you are going to win. Let me find a losing example. Now let's just say, for instance, price came down here, and we know that this is a key level. So price came down here and you didn't wait for a confirmation candle. You just said, you know what, let's get in on this aggressive entry for a buy, and then you got in right here on this close in hopes to you know, make some money on. You put your stop loss right there, right above, and then you try to take it to the next key level, but it doesn't matter because you got smoked like a turkey. You got smoked like a turkey on Thanksgiving, man. You didn't get that. You didn't get that. You got smoked as soon as you got in the trade. Instantly you got smoked. And let's find a losing example as well. Let's find a losing example as well on the selling side of things, just so we can make sure we cover everything. Sorry, I'm sorry for singing. Yeah, let's just use this one for instance, I guess. Let's just say we assume that when price came up here, it was going to sail back down. So we got in for a buy right here on the close of that candle as we entered this zone, instead of waiting for rejection. And then we put our stop loss all the way down here, and our take profit would have been somewhere above here, but it doesn't matter because once again you got smoked like a turkey, and you would have been in that trade for a really long time, and it would have been a horrible emotional roller coaster to be in a trade like that. So an aggressive entry isn't always the best entry, okay? And 9 times out of 10, me personally, I usually go for the conservative entries because I win more than I lose. So it's like, why go for an aggressive entry? I gotta be feeling real cocky. I gotta have like my mojo flowing. I gotta be feeling really good in order for me to confidently take an aggressive entry. But like I said, those are the pros and cons. Once again, we can go over them if I can find them. Those are the pros and cons to both the conservative and the aggressive entries. Hopefully you found some value in this video. If you did, share it with a friend, man. Let's make this the best trading channel on YouTube. It's been your boy Slim, aka the Chef, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.